Well, I think IPEF should be a very important leg of the U.S. efforts in the region. Certainly for most Asian governments, economic and trade issues comes far ahead of security and politics. Even in a time of increasing, as you mentioned at the outset, increasing turbulence in both politics and the security sphere, economics is still driving decision-making in and around this region. That makes it, again, very challenging for the potential partners to engage with the U.S. Reshoring is not helpful for Asian governments. Reshoring means take jobs from our markets and put them back into the United States. That is less attractive, as you might imagine, especially coming out of an out of a COVID pandemic.
Deborah, Mandy jumping in here. Should IPEF be seen as a way for the US to be countering China's clout in the region, or is that the wrong optic?
I think that's currently the wrong optic, because certainly if that's the framing, then the U.S. will fail. This is not going to have the sort of bottom line economic impact that potential Chinese investments like Belt and Road have had in some markets. I think instead it is intended to provide some way for the United States to discuss trade and economic issues with important players in and around Asia. The net result of that might be something interesting, or it might just be a series of conversations that take place in the next months or potentially years.
Yes. Deborah, the internal challenges and the struggles that China is facing at the moment with COVID and the supply chain issues and the impact on the economy, would you say that is in any way hindering their ability to shift the narrative, both in the military sphere and in the economic sphere in this region?
I think it certainly is creating challenges for officials who have a very full plate. If you are a Chinese official, you are extremely busy. I think for China at the moment, they have a bit of a runway here because they remain the most economically important player in Asia. They're the number one importer and exporter by quite a bit for all of the markets that the United States is talking to in IPEF. That gives them some comfort in knowing that despite whatever else happens in the universe, at least in the near term, it looks like Chinese economic engagement with and across Asia will continue. And for companies, again, when they look at China, they say, where else am I going to get what China offers? The speed, the flexibility, the capacity, the whole ecosystem that you need to create goods, especially, is in China, and it's not replicable elsewhere. So even if I wanted to leave China, where am I going to go and get something like that? That has been the dilemma for companies. Again, it doesn't mean that you can't choose to be out of China. It just means that this is a much harder decision than I think, especially politicians imagine.